Hello, everybody. Welcome back to some more Quest for Glory. And it's part 7, and coincidentally, it is day 7. How about that?
I just
And,
noticed that big jar of grape soda there.
uh... Oh, I think that's supposed to be, like, a little... Oh, I guess it's supposed to be day 9. I loaded the wrong save. My bad. But, yeah, the purple, soda-looking things, I think that's supposed to be the, like, lamps.
That's a lamp?
Oh, you're talking about the one that was in behind the kata. I thought you were talking about the
Yeah.
ones on the table.
No.
That might be
Not the
just
one on the wall.
oil for the lamps. You know that.
That grape oil.
Well, yeah, you got to have it flavored like your windshield washer fluid. You got blue and you got red.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm sure you've never heard of the show, but in Canada there was a show called Corn to Gas, and I remember there was a like one of the episodes of the show was that they changed the windshield wiper fluid from blue to red, and everyone was upset about it because they were used to the blue.
What was the show about is it exactly?
The show was about a gas station in the middle of nowhere, Saskatchewan. I think the town had like 30 people, kind of thing, right? But the guy
But
who
yeah.
owned the gas station, he changed it from blue to red, and his dad, who used to own the gas station, came in and is like, "What the hell is this?" And is like, "It's windshield washer fluid," and is like, "What? But it's red. Like, what's so special about red? Is it cinnamon flavored?" and then
No,
they,
it's strawberry.
yeah, and then the whole town goes to like the mayor to basically complain about the new windshield washer fluid, and then the dad
Mhm.
is like, he changed it from blue to red. It's not even cinnamon flavored.
In this episode, we're beating a single mother again.
Hey, that's what she gets for not keeping her man.
Someone has to be here to teach her how to have dinner ready on time.
Bitch, this chicken be cold.
One of my favorite comments in that video was like, and her bloodline just needs to stop doing cooking chicken.
Yeah, it's, I don't know how you would cook cold chicken, because that would imply that you didn't cook it whatsoever. And chicken is like the one meat you need to cook at least well done.
I mean, so is pork, really. Pork you need to cook all the way through because it's full of parasites.
Well,
But
maybe
but
in your country of Israel, that's how it is, but in other parts of the world, it's not as bad.
hey, don't offend Israel, or we're gonna make rain. We're gonna make rain acid on your town, okay? Remember that we control the weather.
Okay.
Uh,
Anyway, I think in game today is the day where we can actually visit one of the other points of interest.
I think the issue with the chicken is that maybe she did the chicken first, but then took too long doing the rest of the dinner, so the chicken got cold.
Well, that's just poor
That's
planning on her end.
yeah, yeah.
Or at least she needs to learn how to multitask. God damn it, Barney. Anyway, basically we're almost at max agility, so I might as well just shoot this guy in the face with a bunch of fireballs. Because fuck him.
It
And
sounds like
yes,
he's doing the pocket sand from Dave, the pocket sand trick. But instead of pocket sand, it's like pocket uh, gunpowder. Pocket bomb! It just keeps tossing bombs at the guy's face.
yeah. Uh, well, he does look like a Taliban type, so he's probably used to it.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever seen that? I don't recall. There was a Jackie Chan movie. I think it was Police Story 2.
Police Story 2. I don't think
Yeah,
I've seen the Police Story ones. I saw Rush Hour 1 and 2.
yeah. He fights. Police Story were the ones I think were the movies still made when he was in Hong Kong, and
Okay.
the movies he made in Hong Kong were by far the best because it was like he had. I don't know if it's the if it's a difference in culture, but in but in Hong Kong he could take a lot longer doing the takes. So he would do a take like dozens, hundreds of times until he would get the way he wanted,
Yeah,
or he
like
could get the trick right.
I do
Or he,
remember that there was a video that he made, kind of like a one of the short YouTube documentaries that's like 5 minutes kind of thing,
Mhm.
where he explained that the hardest thing that he ever had to do was a trick with a fan where he threw it and then it whipped back and he caught it again. And he said that was the hardest one that he had to do. That took like 200 tries, but he said that anything is essentially possible when it comes to filming. It's just that how much time you're willing to dedicate to try and get it done.
yeah, and there was the where was I? Oh yes, and in Police Story 2, I think there is a scene where he fights a guy who is mute,
Mm-hmm.
but the guy keeps throwing bombs at him like a real asshole. And at some like the end of the movie, he gets a hold of the box with the bombs, and he keeps like vengefully tossing at the mute guy. It looks like the most most savage bullying. If you see it out of context, it just looks like Jackie Chan bullying a poor mute guy.
Yeah. Um, One movie I do want to really watch from him was the Drunken Master,
Oh
because
yeah,
I always
the
really liked the
fights.
idea of drunk kung fu fighting.
Yeah, there is the scene with the fight scene at the end of the movie is phenomenal. I
Hmm.
think it won a prize. I think the guy who he fought in the movie, I don't know if he was one of his bodyguards, but the guy was a practitioner of Taekwondo. It is, and the dude is just incredible with how he fights. Just
Yeah. I know there's like basically hundreds of Jackie Chan movies, but there was a few that I've seen as a kid. Like there was Twin Dragon, where Jackie Chan had a twin, but they were basically separated at birth and had completely separate lives. Like one was like a street thug, and then the other one uh, became not a pianist. Well, yeah, he became a pianist, but he was like a conductor of a whole orchestra. And then they had the thing where they end up coming back into each other's lives. And oh, I'm asking about peanuts. Once you start, it's very hard to stop. That is how peanuts are like hero business. But anyway, so it became a thing where part of the plot of Twin Dragon was that whatever the one twin do, the other one would do it. So while they swapped places, sort of like the Prince Tale, I think it was called. Um, the thug had to like conduct a choir, and while uh, uh, the other guy had to basically steal a truck, and as the thug guy was conducting the choir, uh, the thug guy, the choir guy's hand while he was driving the truck was waving around. And he's like, "Oh no, he's doing the wrong tempo." um, but that was a fun movie.
Yeah. It's probably. Well, tell me if you managed to find maybe a box set of Jackie Chan movies, because
That's the problem with them is that you can never get like a complete one because A, there's so many, B, not all of them got released over here, and C, if they did, sometimes they're out of order. Like, have you ever seen the Angry Video Game Nerds chronologically confused about movies?
no,
Okay,
I've seen
hmm.
I've seen the one about Zelda many years ago.
Yeah, the Zelda one was all right, but the one about movies, he basically said that there was one Jackie Chan movie where, for whatever reason, they released the sequel first over in the States. And instead of calling it two, because that would be confusing, they called it the first one. And then they released the first one over here. But of course, they couldn't call it that movie first because they already released the second one first, and called it the first. So then they were like, okay, so the first one is now the second one.
Goodness gracious! Why didn't they just call it Chapter Zero or something?
I don't know.
God, it's such nonsense.
I think it was like the 80s or 90s before making prequels was like commonplace and routinely shit.
Goodness. Yeah. Um, there was another one that was really good. There is I don't know if you remember that he made a lot of with he made some with like some Hong and Yuan Biao. There was like a huh. Now that there are two movies he makes. There are at least two movies of Jackie Chan that I'm aware of that he makes with Sammo Hung and Yuan Biao, and where he fights Benny Urtidis, Benny
Mm-hmm.
the Jet. Like it, he made Dragons Forever, and this movie is like it's just amazing. It ends. He plays a lawyer in that movie, and the movie just ends with a massive brawl in a drug factory.
Yeah.
Like the three of them just start fighting like bunch of guys in a drug factory, and it's just I don't know, man. It's a really long scene. It feels like 20 minutes of them just fighting. Great. And then it culminates with him fighting Benny the Jet. He also he did the same thing was on uh Wilson Meals. That's a weird name. Wilson Meals. Yeah, same actors fights the same guy in the end.
Hmm.
And the fight he has with Jet in that with Ben in that movie is probably one of the best he's ever made. Like doesn't regard in terms of it's kind of it's a fight that is very much, how do I put it? It very much has the flair of fiction. You can see like they're not realistic moves that they're being performed, but they have such a good sense of impact. So like there's a scene where Jackson he kicks Benny in the face, and as he's falling, like it goes in slow motion, he kicks the guy again and just tosses him the other direction.
Hmm.
It's so good. I have to show you later. It's an incredible fight.
Anyway, I guess this ended up being more of another grind video. Oh well. Like I said, there's a lot of times for this stuff, so.
By the end of the game, this woman will never have dinner late.
I mean, if she's lucky, she's gonna, she might have, some skin left on her bones. Just from how much we're stabbing her. But, let's see. Do we do more nighttime stuff? Yes. Alright, so we're gonna be, killing more ghouls and shit. Unless... there's another dance sequence. Nope, just a meal. Thank God.
Oh, sorry. The guy's name is Benny Urquidez. He was a kickboxer in the 80s.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, there was another video that I saw about, I can't remember which, martial artist it was, but he mentioned that, the toughest fight that he ever had for, filming a movie was against Mike Tyson. Because in that movie, Mike Tyson played like a bodyguard or something like that. And he said that the way that Mike Tyson fights, it's basically just a relentless gauntlet, like immediately.
so what do you mean a gauntlet?
Basically, like it's just there's like no break. It's just a constant like punch, 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 punch kind of thing. Which, to be fair, that
A
is Mike
barrage.
Tyson's fight strategy.
So barrage, not
Yeah,
exactly a
barrage.
gauntlet.
Yeah, and it's because of that I believe that the fight he had against Jake Paul was fixed.
Well, he's also like, what, 58 years old now?
Yeah, and he's still in
It's...
surprisingly good shape, all things
Yeah,
considered. But even then, it's like, no,
yeah,
he shouldn't have
he's
lost
in,
against Jake Paul. Fuck him.
he's in very good shape for a 58-year-old, but he's still like a man with like 20 years older than Jake Paul. It's still like even someone as strong as Mike Tyson can't beat time.
Yeah, I mean, but I thought that Jake Paul was like 20, was like in his 20s or something. I didn't think he was 30.
Yeah, I don't know what age is he is. I don't care. There was that fight with who was it, like Floyd Mayweather? And I don't think was his name. But one of the Mayweather boxers. I don't recall his name. But yeah, that fight. I remember watching that fight live, and people were commenting how disappointing it was. Like, okay, this by the end of the fight, when like they're complimenting each other and people were joking, yeah, I'll send you the money. I'll deposit the money tomorrow. Like, as if Jake Paul paid Mayweather to not demolish his face. Because the fight in general was kind of disappointing.
Yeah. Um, I, honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if that was the case, but
Yeah, it
let's
was Floyd
see.
Mayweather.
Let's see. What else was there? Actually, speaking of Mike Tyson, well, semi relating to Mike Tyson anyway. I wouldn't mind playing through the Wii version of Punch Out. That was a really good game.
It doesn't have Mike Tyson anymore, right? So because
Yeah, no, but
the
they made Sandman the final boss fight, and he is a very very good substitute for Mike Tyson. I will say that much.
I thought the final boss was an Irish guy.
No, that was the Aaron Ryan is the guy. He is the first fight in the last sort of championship belt. And if I remember correctly, it goes him. Oh shoot, who was the in between? There was I think Bald Bull was the third fight, and then there's oh yeah, it was Soda Popinski, Bald Bull, and then Macho Man, and then it goes Sandman. And Soda Popinski is a fucking cheater because he drinks soda during the fight, which restores his health if you don't knock it out of his hand.
Hilarious, doesn't it? Was he the only guy who had his name changed on the Western versions of the original game?
I
The
think there
NES
was
game?
a few other ones, but yeah, he used to be vodka drunkinsky. And they changed it because they felt that was a little bit too racist.
No, I think it's because the Nintendo had Nintendo of America had a specific policy of not mentioning alcohol and religion in their games in the like back in the day.
That could possibly be it, but at the same time, who knows? It could have been a combination of those two things.
Pocket bomb. By the way, the ghoul is actually a creature from Arabic mythology.
Was it? I thought ghouls were just more just like a weird in between of like zombies and humans.
Yeah, they are the traditional undead that well, I mean, practically every culture has like an undead has an idea like some myth about an undead monster, but the ghoul is the version from Arabic folklore.
Okay.
Reminds me, I gotta read. I still haven't read The Hero of a Thousand Faces.
Was the Hero of a Thousand Faces the book that sort of describes the hero's journey and like what that and all that? Or...
That too, but it's the main thing basically is establishing the idea of the monomyth, which is like basically tracing the general similarities of mythologies throughout the world, like things, for example, how creatures like the Jotun, the Titans, the Nephilim in the Hebrew folklore. Those creatures, like they get generically translated as giants
Mm-hmm.
in modern perception of mythology, but in general they were not exactly giants. They were the outsider, the creatures that stood against God or the gods. In the case of the Hebrew myth, of the Hebrew folklore, the Nephilim were the angels that rebelled against God
Okay.
after the creation. And then the in Greek mythology it was the Titans and the Titans who were I think were the sons of Kronos or Saturn. I don't recall correctly. Possibly Kronos. The ones who were born after like someone's blood dropped on the ground. I think it was like Kronos when the blood from his testicles dropped on the ground after Zeus castrated him.
Um,
And
yeah, I'm not
either that or
100% sure, but I always thought or assumed that the Titans were like the god of gods, like they were first kind of thing.
no. There were creatures that were born from the blood of I think the blood of Kronos, and they rebelled against they rebelled against the gods of Olympus for power over for the power for the right to rule over everything basically over
Mhm.
the material world. And then the same thing were the Jotuns were not exactly giants or gods themselves. They were creatures that stood against the Aesir in the creation. So yeah, it's one of those aspects of the monomyth. It's like a creature. They always have this creature that the creatures that stand against the gods in in the natural order. Another thing, in Irish folklore, like the Fomorians, that most people might know better from D&D.
Uh,
But there were the Fomorians who were the enemy of the Tuatha De Danann.
I don't remember Fomorians in Dungeons and Dragons.
There is a creature called Fomorian, and the name comes from the Irish mythology, the Formoraig.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Irish,
not
because
denying it. I just don't remember it anywhere in like 5e. It might have been like
I'm not accusing you of anything. Don't worry.
okay.
Yeah, it's just contextualizing things. Yeah. Fomorian is kind of an anglicized name. I think there were something like Formoraig.
Yeah. The only
Celtic
other
names
thing
are
that I know
funny.
of is we can no longer sell scorpion tails to this guy. He has too many. So there is a cap on how much you can grind, kind of.
Mhm. I've ever heard of an anime called Zetsu no Tempest.
Uh, no.
There's a very funny thing about this. It's based on a manga. Oh, yeah, it's based on a manga, Zetsu no Tempest, and there's a very interesting thing about this manga is that they mentioned uh, they do. I don't know if it's intended, but they do an allusion to the idea of the monomyth because they mentioned how many cultures in throughout the world the have a serpent as a creature that brings destruction. Like in um, for example, Jormungand.
Yeah, I was just about to say Jormungand, but
Yeah,
uh,
Jormungand, Lucifer as the serpent in the in the
yeah, Adam and Eve story, and
yeah, and so yeah, they work that into the story. They basically like, hey, maybe all those mythologies that we're talking about a serpent were trying to warn us of something.
it could just be because snakes are poisonous in
Yeah.
a lot of parts of the world, and they're kind of weird and slippery and scary.
Yes, and but yeah, it's one of those aspects of culture I mean, because people notice the same aspect of a creature in many different cultures, they create a similar myth.
hmm Um, well, one of the things that always interested me was kind of like how, again, like how certain things do relate among different cultures, like the idea of salt being a way of sacrifying areas, kind of thing,
Yeah,
or an ingredient to help sanctify things.
yeah.
Um,
It's the
But
same method. People notice like I think throughout the world people notice that salt has a property of preserving food. So it's it so yeah, it's so many cultures perceive salt like as like a thing that represents cleanliness, and cleanliness relates to perhaps to good, to virtuous, to sacred,
mhm.
you know.
But
I'm
also
not putting
another
that.
funny thing is that when it comes to like yes and no, like nodding your head means yes, and then shaking your head means no, and that's kind of recognized in any culture. It's kind of funny how
Except
that sort of developed.
yeah, except in Bulgaria, because I guess they're just a nation of wrong people.
Um, oh, is it the exact opposite for them?
It's the opposite in Bulgaria for some reason.
Huh, weird.
For some reason, Bulgaria just has it all. Just has it weird like that, as an inverted. Maybe the Bulgarians are aliens all along.
Maybe. Um, yeah, and I think at this point, I'm trying to get rid of, yeah, I was trying to get rid of the sand that we had because we don't need it. But for whatever reason, I can't get rid of the sand in the bag. I have to get rid of the whole bag and sand.
Mhm.
So I think it's kind of one of those things where it's like, oh, uh, if there's a way to get rid of the sand without getting rid of the bag, I don't know what it is. So I think it's one of those things where it's like, well, I guess I have to drop the bag and buy a new bag because we need it for the earth elemental that's going to eventually attack. Uh, Stupid wind elemental. Why is it so hard to throw dirt into it? No, I didn't want to ook at the map. I wanted to look at it. And then I keep forgetting, oh yeah, you have to be in Shapir to look at the map. Oh, and there's the beggar, so once we see him, we gotta give him some money. Because that would be dishonorable to ignore him.
Can you interact with a snake?
Not really the snake, but with the snake charmer, you can give him money as well. But to give him money, it's weird. You have to, like, say it in a specific way. Yeah, let's see. The carpet merchant we don't need. Let's see. Look map. Oh yeah, I went into the wrong area. It's the Fighters Plaza that has the cloth bags.
By the way, uh, in the movie list,
Mm-hmm.
did I miss anyone?
Oh,
Did I miss
that
anything?
list that you sent me. I'll have to double check it, but I think it was good if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
It's oh yeah. So a movie that we just saw, audience, was Shadow of the Vampire, which was pretty good. It
William
was.
Dafoe specifically.
Hmm?
William Dafoe specifically.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe did a very excellent job at playing Nosferatu.
I heard he was actually. Well, did we watch the same review together?
The one that
Yeah,
was that we watched right after the movie, that was like four
yeah,
minutes. Yes.
yeah, yeah. He did. He was. I, he was apparently. nominated for an Oscar for that performance.
And let me guess,
Which
he got
is
snubbed because some Oscar bait bullshit won.
yeah. Someone needed to give another prize to Harvey Weinstein movie.
Oh, and that's it for today's video. Just all grind. Feels bad,
We had to end with Harvey Weinstein.
as usual. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you all next time. Have a nice night.
Bye bye.